5K. Discord on Friday. Anyways, you guys have been wanting to hear my thoughts on the new Legacy reveals since the Bulkhead and tracks were announced. It's been interesting seeing the internet be incredibly divided on these. Many people love what they're seeing. Many people despise it. I've been getting comments telling me I'm going to love it, and ones telling me that I'm going to loathe it in equal measure. And so many people were expecting this video on like the very next day. Well, hold your horses, guys, because Hasbro PulseCon was right around the corner, and I wanted to cover all the reveals in one go. But now they are all out, and for once, I actually caught the livestream as it happened, and didn't have to be told by you guys after the fact what went down in it. So I got to actually have an emotional roller coaster watching the show. But first, before we get into this, I do want to cover something I missed last time I did a video like this. Golden Disc Line Jackpot. I have no excuse for this. None. I'm just dumb as hell. I literally had a folder of pictures for him saved right next to the script for that video, and I'm literally just using those pictures I already had saved to make this video. And yet, somehow, I forgot to cover it last time. I will never profess being anything other than an idiot. As you all know, I like the Jazz mold a lot. I do understand that the windshield can crack now, so yeah, that mold has a pretty serious flaw, but I still enjoyed it enough to give the regular version a recommendation. This one, I don't know. With the threat of the figure breaking, along with it being a figure of a character no one knows, makes it kind of hard to recommend. I think the colors look cool as hell, the head not so much. This is one of the strangest and goofiest heads I've ever seen. I mean, what is even going on here? It's like he has an incredibly skinny head that's wrapped up in a neck brace he's strapped on too high. And he's got like a tiny weird mouth and chin mandibles. I am confused by this head. I don't know what else to say. So before I get into what they revealed, let me just say that I am amazed Hasbro for once managed to keep this all under wraps, at least in terms of visuals. We knew these figures were coming for a while now, but for once in the last year, these didn't get full-on reviews before the figure was even revealed. That is abnormal now, and it did make this feel like more of an event. First up, let me talk about the art for the line. I gotta ask, what is with the retro 80s aesthetic? Maybe early 90s? I really like it, but if the whole point of this line is to be about the rest of the franchise for once, why are we lobbing on this 80s aesthetic onto stuff that mostly came out after 2000? Maybe it's meant to signify that they are trying to turn all that stuff into G1 versions of itself, and I know that there are a lot of people pushing back on that idea, maintaining that this isn't a G1-inspired aesthetic, but look, you gotta give up the ghost on this argument. Even the lead designer of the line said during the livestream that that's what they're going for. You can argue that that's not what they're doing, but they've made it clear at the point that that's at least what they are trying to do. Whether or not they are succeeding is up for debate, but it is their goal, it seems, at least according to them. Of course, you could argue that they are only saying that to pander to G1ers, and what they're actually trying to do is different than what they are claiming, and I can buy that. As we can see here, the leaks of the logo for the line were true, which also means that the leaks for the Metroplex are also most likely true. Bummer. So, is this Cybertron in the middle here? Why do they keep trying to pass Cybertron for a world with a back half that's completely blown off like an apple with a bite taken out of it? Why is Blaster magenta here? Okay, so there's another Hot Rod coming. Interesting. That's clearly the Siege Megatron. Why is he here? I swear, if they release another version of this mold, I'm going to scream. Okay, so we have confirmation that Iguanus is going to be the G1 version and not the Beast Wars version. That's disappointing. I wonder if this thing's robot mode will look like the robot that was inside the Pretender shell. That'd be an interesting direction to take the Pretenders. Make the shells the alt modes and have the inner robot be the robot mode. Obviously, you can't do that with the more human ones, but you also just can't have the human ones in general. Is it just me, or are Bulkhead's eyes incredibly low in his face here? They are just barely over his bottom lip. And based on this picture here, Arcee is looking cool. Let me tell you, when they put this up on screen for the first time during the livestream, it gave me some hope. Before we get to everything else, the boxes are going to be strange. They look good enough, I suppose. They are well made, but I don't feel the need to display these like I did with the Kingdom ones. And their awkward shape bugs me. What is up with the saturation? Maybe I just feel these are too gimmick heavy for me. And open-topped boxes. Great. My figures can get dusty before I buy them. I both do and do not like these new boxes. So now let's run through these in the order that they were revealed during the livestream. Skids. Okay, based on these pictures, I can confidently say that I was wrong about JP93. That is very much not based on this figure. You can especially tell from these pictures of the car, as some kind of transformation joint is pressed up against the window that's not here on the JP version. The way the wheels flip to the underside of the feet also gives that away. I think this looks really good. A lot of people are complaining that the insides of the legs look hollow, and while if we're talking about the thighs, I agree, the legs look better than a lot of figures in this regards. Something that bothers me more is just how much the elbows remind me of old Combiner Wars figures. I swear that's the same part, and if it is, this is the best elbow bend we are getting out of it. I don't like how the center of the hood is just strapped to the back of his head. That's not how that's supposed to work, and I don't see why they couldn't make it into a separate piece like they did with the Siege Hound. I'm excited to get this even if literally no one knows who G1 Skids is, and I don't think his alt mode is cool, interesting, or like something anyone would ever consider driving in the US. Dragstrip. This both looks great and has me really worried. Like, it looks well designed, but the lack of wrists and the size of the pins implies to me that this is very small. Legends plus small. And it would kind of make sense if Motormaster is ending up as a regular-sized commander when combined with his trailer, as in the size of Skyfire, and the Limbots aren't being used to bolster his size at all, the trailer just turns into a robot that you duct tape some cars to the outside of. This would have to be tiny to fit on that. My fears may be unfounded. Going by these two shots here, the figure seems to be about the same size as Skids, which, to be fair, may also be excessively small. But compared to the two humans next to them, they honestly seem like they're kind of on the larger side. Though there is a chance that they are doing some bullshit with blown-up one-off copies of the figures. This looks good. The transformation looks like it's probably going to be very interesting, even if the head isn't hiding away all that well. Though I bet the way this attaches to the combined mode is going to be some lame bullshit, since Menasor literally just has shoulder pads and calf guards made out of cars. My only question is, are the cars going to end up on the fronts of his legs where they belong if you aren't stupid, or if they're going around on the backs where no one will ever see them and they may as well not even be there? Also, is this going to split in half and end up on both ends of the arms? Arcee. Okay, yeah, that's fucking terrible. This design looks like it would probably be fine if the sculpt weren't shit. This looks like it was designed as a male character and then turned into Arcee. Hasbro, you have the time. You don't have to change anything of engineering consequence, but you need to fix the head and the torso. Her chest should be shorter, her waist should be longer, and just fix the damn head. It's just so strange looking. She had a narrow face. Why did you make it wide and square? All you need to do is narrow it up again, and it looks worlds better. And light piping, no! Seriously, it's simple cosmetic issues that are killing this thing. This reeks of being a pre-tool or something. This could work out great if they just fix these two problems with the aesthetic. I see she is going to parts form off her bumper as some kind of awful weird weapon that looks nothing like any kind of gun that has ever or will ever exist. This could make some sense as a drone of some kind, but like this? Nah. I don't despise this yet, but it could have and should be so much better. Kickback. This is the one most people seem pretty okay with, and I don't know, this really isn't doing it for me so much. I don't like how far his arms are bracketed off his body by the wings, which, if you ask me, look very breakable. Like, I can see those plastic rings failing very quickly. The way his arms hinge look incredibly strange to me. The transformation also looks dead simple. I do appreciate the fact that they did bother to cover the face a bit, though not enough. Seriously, this isn't what his bug mug is supposed to look like. If this thing is as simple as it looks, why didn't they make the bug head a different head stored inside his chest? I never thought I'd be arguing in favor of faux forming, but it would have been better than this. I also don't like the texture they've gone with for the bug wings. I don't know why they decided they needed one when it's so at odds with the rest of it. Why the hell are his forearms so empty? There is no reason for that. They barely transform, and in both modes they are hollow somehow. How is it when they are flipped out, they're hollow, and when they're flipped away, they're still hollow? Also, why the hell is his parts forming so egregious? Like, this looks so bad. The swords are the wrong color and they are a different texture. They bolt onto the sides of the wings and they are super bulky. This looks worse than sticking a rifle on the side of a car. Since when did he even have swords? I'm just thoroughly not impressed by this one. It looks to be doing just about everything wrong. Bulkhead. People are furious about this one, and I mean, fair enough, the renders look terrible. The renders look like a bad digibash. But IRL images of this guy look a lot better. It's still strange, but it's not quite the trash fire it looked like it was going to be. A lot of people aren't happy with the new direction they've gone with him, giving him a less dumpy, more G1-like body. People are acting kind of blindsided, but this is what was going to happen. For those who aren't happy about this, I would like to point out this has been Hasbro's modus operandi for a while now. The G1ification of this design was fully in the expectations they've set. And I would like to point out that oftentimes the people unhappy that this doesn't look like the show are the people who were cheering on Kingdom not looking like Beast Wars, and who were confused why people like me weren't happy about the change. I hope you can all get why now after seeing this, cause this for you is what Kingdom was like for me as a fan of Beast Wars. And yeah, they've definitely picked an odd new flavor for him, but I must profess, I was never a fan of his prime design. The way he was so ill-designed he had to waddle around in battle just didn't sit well with me. So, while I do feel for people who are not happy about this, I do see it as an improvement to his general design, personally. It's funny, it's almost elegant how the new design takes advantage of what used to be considered an inelegant body type to make it Bulkhead. It makes it both dumpy and jacked at the same time. The green looks like it's straight off the Rhinox, so that's not the best. I have a burning question. Why are the shoulder wheels fake? This is literally an entirely new design for the character, and they are adding in faux forming because why? It's literally not required, unless the ones on his shoulders really are the wheels, at which point why does he have two fake ones strapped up behind his head whose only purpose is to end up on the back of the alt mode where you can't really see them? I am so confused. That's a rather conspicuous gap in the roof of the truck, and I'm really interested to see what this looks like without its soft top. The head is also strange. It's more prime than animated, and I would have preferred the animated head a lot. I just think that head had the cooler look. You know, I hate when shields are made out of a part of the alt mode, but at least with Cliff Jumper, it's sheet metal and glass. This is cloth. Great shield there, bro. It wouldn't stop a dull knife. Hell, it wouldn't stop a punch. I guess you can transform it inside out to make it metal? Okay, that's acceptable. But why would you not have the render do that? This figure is a conundrum, but I think it looks interesting, honestly. I'm more liable to buy this than one of the regular Prime design. But yeah, I do think that this should have probably been the original version, though which one? It's okay to experiment with the design when it's not been a decade since the last faithful one. I'm interested, but this shouldn't be for me. It should be for fans of the character. Also, this feels like a pre-tool of the movie Hound. Laser Prime. The legs, no! Why? Stop using these! And if you don't, fix the ports on them at least! The trailer this time looks like it did cost more money to make, and it has a worth a damn base mode to help, so that's something. I am really concerned that he is going to end up with the entire truck cab as a backpack jutting miles off of him in robot mode. Oh yeah, it's there. You can see from this shot it's there, and during the live stream they tried very hard to keep it rotated towards the camera so you couldn't see it. Also, his shoulder line is looking really weirdly low. And once again, they aren't painting Optimus's face. Why aren't you doing that? Also, is that light piping I see? I hate you if it is. And another Matrix. No! I like how they even cheaped out on the hands, and now instead of opening, they are just stubby fingers so that way they can have a cut for the Matrix to slip into. It's pretty fully featured with the rocket pods and everything, so that does punch it up a little. What is with the sewer lid axe? I like what I'm seeing here more than the Earthrise Optimus. It helps that I like to think of Optimus Prime and Laser Prime as two different guys with the same body type. Like Laser is a more gung-ho, battle-oriented officer, and the result is that he doesn't have a specific set of known proportions. Also helps that he doesn't have the rubber butt cheeks, though the backpack, if it's as big as it looks, may be worse than that. Ultimately, I come away from this thinking it looks mostly good. Arcee really needs some work in the sculpting department, and if Hasbro takes my advice, she could end up much better. Kickback, who looks a bit lazy and cheap, doesn't look like a bad figure as of yet. I'm hopeful. I think it could be good, but I do see why people are mad. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.